Hi, boys and girls. Mr. Mirror here for the Little Writing Family. In our last lesson, we talked about how you can look at the world a little differently and write a whole new poem that brings a new perspective to a very familiar topic. Well, today, I want to jump off of that and talk about how poets don't just use their words, they also use line breaks and white space to add interest and pacing to a poem. You'll know you're getting good at this when you pick one of your old poems and change it up a little bit just in where you put your words so it makes a better poem that emphasizes the things you want to emphasize. Take a look at one of my poems that I just did in our last lesson about eating pretzels at the game. Here is that poem. Pretzels at the game. Large, brown, and warm. Salty, hard, spicy mustard for dipping in. Save the knot for last, eating a delicious pretzel at the game. That's how it was. But I want you to take a look at this poem. Right away, you're going to notice that it's not just the words that make this, but this poem has a bit of a shape to it, right? Like some lines go way out, some lines go right in. So when I read this, watch how the word salty and the word hard get attention just for themselves. Large, brown, and warm. Salty. Hard. Spicy mustard for dipping in. Saving the knot for last. Eating a delicious pretzel at the game. Because I wrote salty and hard on their own lines, they get their own emphasis. This word salty is just as important as these words up here. Large, brown, and warm, none of those words get emphasis because they're all in one line. Now, I can change this poem just by moving some words around, and I want to show you how. I wrote about that right here. Same poem. Nothing changed except where I put the words. Take a look. Salty and hard I put together now. I got rid of the word and I put warm down here. So I am going to emphasize warm. It's on its own now. Listen to how this one sounds. Large, brown, warm, salty, hard, spicy mustard for dipping in, saving the knot for last, eating a delicious pretzel at the game. Can you hear the difference? I'm going to read just this top section from both poems. Listen to it again. The first one goes, large, brown, and warm, salty, hard. Large, brown, warm, salty, hard. Right? Can you hear the difference now? Where I put the emphasis changes because of where I put the word. So I have to ask myself, do I like having salty and hard together and warm being the most important word there? I don't think I like that. I think I want salty and hard to kind of stand on its own. Now, could I also change other things like dipping in? I could make that its own line. I'm deciding not to here. I want to focus on just this top part. Look at what I did for my last one. Large, brown, warm, salty, hard, spicy mustard for dipping in, saving the knot for last, eating a delicious pretzel at the game. Here, none of those describing words are more important than any of the other ones. They all are so important that they get their own line. I think I kind of like this one. It kind of builds up. Large, brown, warm, salty, hard, spicy mustard for dipping in. Like, those are all describing words, and then it's the action. Spicy mustard for dipping in. Saving the knot for last. Eating a delicious pretzel at the game. I think I'm going to keep this one. Now you'll notice I didn't write any new words. I just rearranged them. So what I want you to do today is talk to a friend of yours about one of your old poems. Pick out an old poem you think you might want to write again and try writing it a little bit differently. But talk to your friend about, like, what are you going to change? Where might you change the spacing or the white space? How are you going to have the line breaks a little bit differently? That's what I did in my poem. Now, if you're looking at all your old poems and you're like, I can't see it any differently, then go ahead and try writing a new poem today, but just really be thinking about where you're breaking your lines and how you're using white space today. All right? Go ahead and get started on that, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video so you can see more of them in the future. Bye-bye.